What is up, guys? AdminVaas here. Thanks for tuning in to the first ever VaasViews of 2016, as well as the first VaasViews over a movie. I like to keep things fresh. This is a variety channel, so don't be surprised if the next VaasViews is over a banana. Anyways, today we're looking at The Veil. It's a horror movie, and I'll go ahead and knock the technical stuff out of the way as well as the disclaimer. I don't own anything in this video except for my voice and editing skills. The entirety of the film belongs to the following people: director Phil Poineau, don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly because it's a French name, I'm sorry if I butchered your name, sir. The producer Jason Blum of Blumhouse Productions, and the distributor of the film, Universal Pictures. It belongs entirely to them. I don't claim ownership of any of it. Please don't sue me and please don't copyright strike me. Anyways, let's talk about the movie. It's kind of centered around a cult living on the outskirts of a town in a forest where there's just this eccentric guy who's the head of everything. His name is Jim Jacobs, and he's leading the Heaven's Veil cult. You can already see where it kind of draws parallels to real-life cults, specifically the Heaven's Gate cult, and similarly to them, they all commit suicide at the beginning of the film. There's only a few survivors of it, and that's kind of where we start off. There's a young girl, her mother basically spares her from having to kill herself as well as, witnessing it. She runs away while everyone drops dead. She comes back and the police are there. Everyone's all, what the fuck just happened? And they take her into captivity. Fast forward about 20 years and she's an adult. She's heavily medicated and she's just received a box full of her stuff from the plantation where she grew up with the cult. And as well as the box, she's been invited by a group of documentary makers or journalists to investigate what happened at the cult because they're curious. There's been some screenshots of what happened there and the crime scene. There's a room with cameras set up from the cult, and they don't quite know where the footage is or what was recorded, so they want to take her along the ride to find out what was happening there. She doesn't quite remember because she's been medicated, and I assume she would really want to forget what happened, coming back and seeing most of her family and friends dead. So they go ahead and have an excursion to the area, and they're already greeted by another survivor, and he's basically kind of pissed off that this was even an option for them, that they would consider coming back to such a place. But it happens, and he does recognize the older girl now. He calls her by her name, and she's kind of just in awe that he would remember. I don't even think she herself remembers him, so just complete stranger recognizing you. Okay, so they go ahead and go into the facility and start investigating. They finally do find the film and the cameras. They start watching it, and some spooky stuff happens. I don't want to go into detail because that's spoiler territory. This is spoiler free. But things are definitely not what they seem. The gatekeeper man is not what he seems, and neither is the surviving girl. I'll go as far as saying there's some definitely questionable motives, to say the least. And it all kind of ties itself together cohesively. The reason I didn't call the girl the protagonist of the film is she's not. This is kind of interesting in a sense that the beginning of the film starts off with her, so you would assume she's the main character, but as the movie progresses, you kind of see that's not the case. Could you even say this movie has a main protagonist? Maybe. There's a group of people the movie focuses on, and it's her and the other journal girl. Journal girl. Yeah, the one documenting everything. She's super into it, and her crew is kind of like, can we go now? There's dead people, and I stuck my hand into one of their stomachs. Yeah. They're definitely not digging the vibe, and they'll kind of suffer for it. Moving on to the actors themselves who played the characters, there's really no complaints to be found. They all did an excellent performance, especially Jim Jacobs, the cult leader. He was charismatic. he really put his all into this act. So I've got to give a small round of applause to my boy, whoever played Jim Jacobs. You did good. A lot of the cast isn't well-known people other than Jessica Alba, so I mean, I guess they will get known for this movie, or at least I hope they do, because they did a really good job, and I don't see why they wouldn't be proud of what they did here. We'll go ahead and talk about the special effects, because they are important to the movie. They're not the best, because again, $4 million budget, but they're definitely not bad by any stretch. There's only a few scenes where you kind of cringe just a little bit because, of course, budget constraints, but the rest of the film, as far as the effects and the camera work, cinematography, it's all well done, so there's really no reason to complain there. Overall, I'd say I would recommend this movie to anyone who's a horror movie buff. This is a B movie with A movie aspirations, and for the most part it does meet those goals. It's got such a neat story, and the character performances, once again, they are excellent, and I can't complain at all. The only problem here is the budget constraints. Really, the effects aren't up to snuff, and there are a few things in the plot that are kind of not entirely explained, but they don't necessarily need to be. Anyways guys, that's pretty much it. If you're looking for a good time and a kind of spooky movie, go ahead and check this one out. That'll do it. So I hope you guys like the format of this. If it's successful, I'll go ahead and do some more. If not, well, I'm still gonna make them, so what are you gonna do? Like, comment, subscribe, do all that good stuff. I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks for watching.